We dug deep into Megan's origin story and found out she not only made the cast and crew uncomfortable on set,
All of that stuff scared me.
but she cost over $12 million to make. Her eyes take more maintenance than anything else in the film, and there was a talented young actor performing most of her stunts.
You stay right where you are, Katie. There's nothing to be afraid of.
The first thing they did before trying to capture Megan on screen was prove that she could actually be made. They worked with Morat FX Studios, who built their first real-life Megan doll, which, we should add, cost more than $12 million to produce. The FX company built a real doll, but everyone thinks that it's CGI. That would have quadrupled the budget, and they didn't stop there.
Do you like it, Katie?
They created more than half a dozen versions of the doll. They switched between multiple versions of Megan while filming, as well as Amie Donald.
I love that Megan's such a fun character to play in.
There was animatronic Megan, puppet Megan, posable, and stunt Megan, but we'll get into that later. For now, let's talk about how the ideas for the movie sprouted from a casual conversation over drinks between the producer Jason Blum and the writer Jason Wan.
The seed of Megan really did come from that conversation.
The idea was Annabelle meets the Terminator. What do you think? Did they nail it? According to the box office, definitely. They're already set up for a sequel in 2025. We'll definitely be going into more detail on that in a bit. For now, we have to talk about the dance. You know the moves. This iconic dance had social media in a chokehold before the movie even came out. The brilliant Amie Donald, who plays Megan, is actually a dancer from New Zealand. She represented her country at the Dance World Cup in Portugal in 2019 and was the first ever New Zealander to bring home medals. The director Gerard Johnstone told her dance teacher Kylie Norris that he wanted the dance to be creepy and distracting. Those were the only two qualifications before he sent them off to create the viral number. Amie Donald thought co-creating the dance was a lot of fun, but the prosthetics she wore, yeah, not so much. So Amie Donald was performing her own stunts while wearing the Megan face, neck, and hand prosthetics. A lot of the time it would fog up so she couldn't actually see. So half the time she was performing with extremely limited vision. You'd think she'd be scared to run blind in the middle of the forest, but she really went full throttle with her stunts. Amie really surprised her director with her impressive ability to cobra rise, where she oh so unnaturally rises from the ground, and then being able to transition into a quad run.
Just giving me what I needed to finish it, and yeah.
Now, one of the biggest things that needed constant attention was Megan's eyes. They modeled her like a real human, which has never actually been done before. It was said that, unlike a normal puppet where the eyelids are far from the surface of the eyeball, Morat made it just like a human being's. The eyelid slides right against the eyeball when it opens and closes. Now this required a lot of attention to detail. Between literally every take, they were administering tears. Sometimes her eyes would even get stuck while the cameras were rolling, so they had to reset quite a bit. One of the creepier moments was when Megan was mid-sentence and one of her eyes got stuck, so they had to lubricate it. People were constantly running around the set, fixing up the different versions of Megan, leading us to our next topic.
It was just such a fun concept that I didn't really think about how challenging it was going to be to bring this thing to life.
The crew was pretty much making things up as they went along. They didn't have time to complete the research and development aspects of Megan until they were shooting, so they were thinking a lot on their toes.
It was so often like, oh, we should go with this version of Megan, or should we go with this version of Megan? And there was confusion sometimes.
Their director would end up looking at a completely different version of Megan than he thought he'd be working with.
So let's just go with this version and see how it goes. And so, yeah, it was very complicated.
Hopefully, all that confusion will be sorted out in time for the sequel. Surprisingly, most of the film was shot in New Zealand because of all the COVID restrictions in the US. Shooting there did prove to be a major challenge, though. They wanted it to look like it was shot in the United States, so they had to dig deep to find the right places to shoot. The workplace was shot at Auckland University of Technology, though Gerard Johnstone was hesitant about it at first, because everyone in New Zealand does know the university.
Oh, well, we can't get AUT. It's like, it's AUT. Everyone knows it's AUT.
But it proved to be the perfect set for the workplace, and most people from the US had never seen it. So he ended up giving in. They even used students at the university as free background actors. They never turned down help on this set, especially when it came to Megan's mechanics. Come 2025, we'll see just how Megan makes her way out of Gemma's Alexa-like smart device. Here's everything we know about that sequel so far. It's going to be called m3GAN 2.0, and it's set to release on January 17th, 2025. Akela Cooper, who wrote the first script, will also be writing the second one. And Allison Williams and Mila McGraw, they're set to return as Gemma and Caddy.
I'm glad I did that. I had a good experience.
So much went on behind the scenes to bring m3GAN to life. From those vision-impairing prosthetics, the major stunt work involved, the plethora of creepy dolls created, and the constant eye maintenance, we're completely floored. What was your favorite behind-the-scenes secret?